Sean Combs was born in Harlem, a neighborhood in New York City, and his early life was shaped by both ambition and tragedy. His father was tragically killed when Sean was only 2 years old, leaving his mother, Janice Combs, to raise him and his sister. She worked multiple jobs to provide for her family, instilling in her son a powerful work ethic that would define his entire career. He attended Howard University, a historically black university in Washington, D.C., where he studied business. It was there that his natural talent for promotion and his deep love for music began to merge, setting the stage for his future in the entertainment industry. While still a student at Howard, Combs secured a highly sought-after internship at Uptown Records, a major label in the hip-hop and R&B world. He quickly proved he was more than just an intern, climbing the ranks to become a talent director. At Uptown, he was instrumental in shaping the careers of major artists like Mary J. Blige and Jodeci. His signature style involved blending the raw energy of hip-hop with the smooth, polished sound of R&B, creating a crossover appeal that was fresh and exciting. However, his ambitious vision sometimes clashed with the label's direction, leading to his eventual departure. This departure, however, became the launching pad for his own empire. In 1993, Sean Combs, now calling himself Puff Daddy, founded Bad Boy Records. He had a clear vision for what he wanted to create, a label that was not just about music, but about a lifestyle. He signed his close friend, the immensely talented Christopher Wallace, who would become the legendary rapper, the Notorious Big. Their partnership would come to define the sound of East Coast hip-hop in the 1990s, producing a string of #1 hits that dominated the charts and the airwaves. This was the beginning of a cultural movement. The success of Bad Boy was meteoric. The label's first release, the Notorious Big.'s debut album Ready to Die, was a critical and commercial masterpiece. It established Bad Boy as a powerhouse in the music industry. Combs was not just the man behind the scenes, he was the face of the brand. He appeared in music videos, produced tracks for other artists, and cultivated an image of success and opulence. He understood that branding was just as important as the music itself, and he masterfully sold the dream of what it meant to be a bad boy to millions of fans around the world. Under Diddy's leadership, Bad Boy Records became a cultural phenomenon that extended far beyond music. It was an era of shiny suits, extravagant music videos, and a feeling of unstoppable success. He didn't just produce records, he created superstars. Artists like Faith Evans, Mace, and The Lox became household names, each contributing to the label's distinctive sound. Diddy himself stepped into the spotlight as an artist, releasing his own multi-platinum album, No Way Out, in 1997. His hit single, I'll Be Missing You, a tribute to the Notorious Big, became a global anthem of remembrance and cemented his status as a mainstream star. His business acumen was just as impressive as his musical talent. Sean Combs understood the power of diversification long before it became a common strategy for entertainers. He launched the Sean John clothing line in 1998, transforming his signature style into a fashion empire that won him the prestigious Council of Fashion Designers of America Award for Menswear Designer of the Year. He ventured into television with the reality show Making the Band, which captivated audiences and produced successful groups like Danity Kane. He was no longer just a music producer, he was a full-fledged entrepreneur building a multifaceted brand. Fans were drawn to his story of a self-made man who had achieved the American dream through sheer will and talent. He was charismatic, confident, and unapologetically ambitious. He represented a new kind of mogul in the hip-hop world, one who could navigate both the streets and the boardroom with equal skill. For many, he was an inspirational figure who showed that there were no limits to what could be achieved. His parties were legendary, his influence was undeniable, and his presence was a symbol of black excellence and success in an industry that had not always welcomed it. However, even during these peak years, his career was marked by controversy, including the infamous East Coast-West Coast hip-hop rivalry that tragically ended with the deaths of both the Notorious Big and Tupac Shakur. there were also legal issues and public disputes that hinted at a more volatile side to his public persona. While his success was celebrated, whispers and rumors about his methods and behavior were a constant undercurrent. For a long time, these issues were largely overshadowed by the glitter of his achievements and his immense contributions to popular culture, but they laid the groundwork for future scrutiny. The carefully constructed image of Sean Combs began to publicly unravel in November 2023. His former partner, the singer Cassandra Cassie Ventura, filed a shocking lawsuit that detailed years of alleged physical abuse, sexual assault, and trafficking. The lawsuit sent ripples through the entertainment world, painting a dark and disturbing picture that stood in stark contrast to Diddy's public image. Although the case was settled out of court just one day after it was filed, it opened the floodgates. Soon, a wave of other individuals, including former employees and romantic partners, came forward with their own lawsuits and deeply troubling allegations. The situation escalated dramatically in March 2024, when federal agents from Homeland Security Investigations conducted raids on Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami. The raids were part of an ongoing federal investigation into sex trafficking, and the images of armed officers swarming his properties were broadcast across the globe. For the public, this was a stunning development, confirming that the allegations against him were being taken with the utmost seriousness by law enforcement. The federal investigation became the central focus of news coverage, and the once celebrated mogul was now the subject of a criminal probe. The release of a 2016 hotel surveillance video by CNN in 2024 was a pivotal moment. The footage showed Combs physically assaulting Cassie Ventura in a hotel hallway, dragging her, kicking her, and throwing an object at her. The video was graphic and undeniable, providing visual evidence that seemed to corroborate the claims of abuse. It sparked widespread public outrage and condemnation, leading many brands and business partners to distance themselves from him. The man who had built an empire on image saw that image shattered in an instant by the very real and disturbing contents of that video. These events culminated in a high-profile trial that captivated the nation. The courtroom became a stage where years of secrets were brought into the light. Witnesses, including former bad boy artists and assistants, took the stand to describe a culture of fear, control, and abuse that they alleged existed behind the glamorous facade of his empire. Prosecutors presented evidence from the federal investigation, while Diddy's defense team worked to challenge the credibility of the accusers. The trial peeled back the layers of his celebrity, forcing the public and the jury to confront the difficult question of who the real Sean Combs was. In the end, the jury delivered a mixed verdict. Sean Combs was acquitted of the most severe charges of racketeering and sex trafficking, which could have resulted in a life sentence. However, he was convicted on 2 counts of a lesser charge, transportation to engage in prostitution. While he avoided the worst-case legal scenario, the conviction, combined with the mountain of public testimony and evidence, left an indelible stain on his name and career. The outcome of the trial meant he was not a free man, and he is now awaiting sentencing for his convictions, facing the reality of potential prison time. The verdict has created a deeply divided public opinion about his legacy. For some, his contributions to music and culture remain undeniable. They remember the iconic hits, the groundbreaking fashion, and the doors he opened for black entrepreneurs in the entertainment industry. They see a complex figure whose immense talents should not be entirely erased by his personal failings. This perspective argues for separating the art from the artist, acknowledging his positive impact while also holding him accountable for his actions. It is a complicated view that tries to hold 2 opposing truths at the same time. On the other side, many people now see his legacy as irrevocably tainted by the abuse allegations and the trial's outcome. For them, the stories told by his accusers, particularly the visual evidence of the assault on Cassie Ventura, have completely overshadowed his professional achievements. This viewpoint holds that his success was built on a foundation of harming and controlling others, particularly women. In this light, His career is not a story of inspiration, but a cautionary tale about the abuse of power and the dark side of fame. These differing views have been explored in a flood of new documentaries released in 2024 and 2025, each trying to make sense of his story. The Diddy saga has forced a difficult but necessary conversation within the music industry and beyond. It has raised critical questions about accountability, the protection of artists, and the culture of silence that can allow powerful figures to operate without consequences for years. His story serves as a stark reminder that fame and success do not place anyone above the law or basic human decency. As the world continues to process the trial and its fallout, the perception of Sean Diddy Combs has been permanently altered. He is no longer just the hitmaker or the mogul. He is now a symbol of a painful and public reckoning.